in the off season, he would go back and work the farm.
Wow.
Which is probably why he was able to have the longevity that he had and able to accomplish the things that he did, pitching in as many games as he did. So many times he'd pitch both ends of a doubleheader. Yeah.
That is crazy.
He actually played for 22 years from 1890 to 1911.
That's crazy.
Which is a lot of seasons.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome to me casa, make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab, go create your move.
This episode is brought to you by Subway. What's good, everybody? It's 99 Miles Per Hour Podcast with me, your host, Percy Garner. I'm back. We had a guest host last week. Hopefully you guys appreciated that episode. It was a little mix-up, little change-up. Even though Steve tried to trip me up and send me down a well with his questions, it's all good. I think I figured it out. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody with my answers. Today we have a great show ahead of us. But before we get into our guest, I do want to talk about my new website that has everything that I've ever wanted all in one place. So it's got, the last 3 episodes of the podcast. It's got information about the podcast and about me. It also has merchandise, which, I got a lot of cool shirts. We got new designs finally, Josh. I did what I said I was going to do. Cool shirts that sometimes reference something in Tuscarawas County or a little bit north of this area. So go there, buy some of the merch. Hopefully you like some of the designs. I also take requests. But the reason I would like you to do that is because that will help me get scholarships to a Dover student. So I'm trying to pass on and pay it forward. So, might as well, give back and look good while you do it. So go ahead there. That is percygarner.com. Very easy. Percygarner.com. Head there and buy some merch and help me out. And this show is possible. Well, this episode is made possible by Subway and the Fitzgerald family. We appreciate everything. Even though I talked about another restaurant last time, I'm so sorry. I was trying to be funny, but I won't do that again. I love you guys. Subway, appreciate everything you do, making this podcast possible. And yes, I will be in there tomorrow. All right. I think I got everything. Oh, yeah. Also, like and subscribe. So we've been making content. This is total episode 84, episode 15 of season 2, which is pretty amazing. We're going on 2 years now on this podcast, and we would love to monetize this. So if you haven't subscribed and you enjoy watching this show, then go ahead and subscribe and send the thumbs up our way so we can get into other people's eyes. And thank you for that. Now, we got 2 guests in the building. One was not able to make it due to health reasons, but they're here in spirit. So first we have Dave Boyer, and then we have Jeremy Reneker, and they're both on the board for the Cy Young Festival. Now, if you guys don't remember, they, were just they were short on time and resources. So they were like, hey, let's just get this guy from Dover, Percy Garner, and we'll put him in the Cy Young Festival. But no, I appreciate it. It was a great time. And it was my first time being at the Cy Young Festival, and it was everything I could imagine. And the people down there were great. You guys were great. You guys were great hosts and had a great time. And, who knows, maybe I'll make it back this year. But you guys are here to talk a little bit about the Cy Young Festival and the history of Newcomerstown and Cy Young. And I can't wait to hear more about it, because I learned a lot last year, but there's still more to learn. And, we got Dave here because Jeremy, you're planning on staying silent, but we're not going to let that happen.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
But before we get into the Cy Young Festival and the history and all that, let's talk a little bit about yourself. So Dave Boyer, where are you from? Are you from Newcomerstown?
No, actually, I was born and raised in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay.
Grew up there, went to school there. Actually, when I graduated pharmacy school, I moved to Akron. I got a job there. I worked in hospitals in the Akron area for about 41 years, and then retired. We built a house down in the Newcomerstown area, and got involved in the festival and a few other things as well, and having a great time meeting the people and working with them. And we enjoyed having you down there last year. We're glad you enjoyed it.
Well, I'm glad. It was a great time for me as well and my family. You guys are very, very great, very gracious host, and a lot of hospitality from everywhere, businesses and everything. I might have to go back and get some ice cream. But Jeremy, let's hear more about you, because you were the one I was dealing with mostly to set up the whole thing.
Mostly that was just because I'm from Dover, born and raised, 95 graduate.
Woo.
Absolutely. Not a whole lot to say. I mean, I got a son that goes to Central Catholic. Daughter still goes to Dover. She's going to be a senior.
Wow.
Light pink majorette.
Okay.
So
nice.
Yep. Be
nice.
most football games. Well, all football games this year.
Awesome.
That's pretty much it.
I like it. Short and sweet.
Not too interesting of a person right here.
See, you wouldn't agree with that, would you, Dave?
No.
Yeah.
Nah.
He's just being modest. It's all good.
Exactly.
No, we appreciate what you do, and keeping the Cy Young Festival going strong is important. And I can't wait to see what you guys in store, I guess, or hear what you guys have in store this year. Let's get to some details about the Cy Young Festival. When is it? What time? What's going on?
You want
Okay.
to Ray?
Yeah, I got it. Take
Okay.
it. All right. So the festival kicks off on Friday, June 24th.
Okay.
Friday evening with everything opens up at 5:00.
Okay.
We'll have the mayor say some words on stage. We'll introduce Queen and Court. Then we got a cornhole tournament at 6:00.
Okay.
I believe that's at the library.
No, it's actually going to be on the main street again.
Main Street.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, they actually shut off the street, and we have 6 sets of boards that one of the companies, Groovefold, made for us, and they're all baseball themed. They're different baseball teams making up the cornhole boards.
Did you guys update it to the Cleveland Guardians, or is it?
No.
Ooh, we probably should do that though.
It's all good. We know what everybody still calls it.
Oh yeah.
No, that's awesome. So you said June 24th, got the mayor speaking.
Yep.
Got some cornhole tournaments.
Yep.
A lot going on. What else?
Then later that night we have Family Traditions Band at 8:00 on the main stage.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty much Friday.
Gotcha. So that's pretty cool. One of the highlights I loved was, I never thought I would be like, in a parade, let alone I was the first vehicle in the parade, and, waving with my family and, making sure that my armpit wasn't too wet, trying not to, hey, but, no, it was very cool, and I hadn't spent a lot of time in Newcomerstown, but I knew that you guys had some very famous people from there. Obviously, the other one being Woody Hayes, but I think it's pretty amazing, and for me, and I think I said this so many times last year while I was down there, but I just did not know that someone like a Cy Young, and we'll get into more about Cy Young if you guys don't know. If you don't know Cy Young, then I don't know what to tell you. But to hear someone being from this area, and that being Tuscarawas County, to do those things, hold records that will never be broken, and also Woody Hayes as well, it's just kind of it's pretty crazy and surreal. And it would have been more encouraging if I knew that when I was growing up. I just assumed that, hey, I'm from Dover. The chances of me making it to professional sports is very slim.
Right.
But then obviously found out Cy Young and Woody Hayes did some pretty amazing things, and they're from this area. So for me, I just kind of want to know more history about the city of Newcomerstown and Cy Young and all that.
Well, Cy Young was actually born not in Newcomerstown. He was raised in Peoria. He was born where?
I think I know this. I can't remember. I remember I was raised. We read it on his gravestone.
I can't remember. But
Peoria is where I think most people.
Peoria is where he was raised. He had a farm there, and actually, in the off season, he would go back and work the farm.
Wow.
Which is probably why he was able to have the longevity that he had, and able to accomplish the things that he did, pitching in as many games as he did. so many times he'd pitch both ends of a double header. Yeah.
That is crazy.
He actually played for 22 years from 1890 to 1911.
That's crazy.
Which is a lot of seasons.
You said, and there's 1911. That's kind of funny because he has 511 wins, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we were talking about before the show got started all the records he has. That obviously the way pitchers are handled this, nowadays, those records are never going to be broken.
Right.
It's a challenge to get to 300 wins.
Exactly.
And you were talking about he pitched in over 800 games, and he had over 700 complete games.
815 games he started, and he had 749 complete games. So that's like 92% of the games that he started, he completed. And these days, if you get 9.2%, you're probably doing pretty good.
Exactly. That's pretty amazing. I know they didn't really, harp on health too much. You had to kind of probably take care of yourself. I don't think Cy Young had 20 trainers and 3 pitching trainers to help him with his arm health. He kind of just had to, do things himself and figure out what was best for him along his career. I mean, for 22 years, you got to do that.
From what I've seen and what I've read, his off-season training was going back to the farm and doing all the work around the farm the entire time. And next season comes up and he goes back in to start the baseball again. So I don't think he ever really had much of a chance to get out of shape.
True. That is true. I know for me, I had an off-season job. Wasn't farming, though. It was retail. I worked at Best Buy and Finish Line. But that is just... Because I know I got an attitude whenever I got taken out of the game. I wanted to finish it. But obviously there were times I wasn't good enough to do that. But just to, I just want people to understand that is outrageous, number one. And number two is, we're starting to realize, like for athletes, to have a long career, it's very difficult. There's a lot of people that we probably forget about that we're going to have great careers, but maybe they got injured or after 3 years they fizzled out because they didn't, go on a farm or have a great off-season training program.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you obviously can't say enough things about Cy Young and the career there. Now I want to kind of get on Newcomerstown because we talked about Cy Young a lot. But I got a chance to go down to the museum, and the museum is not just Cy Young and Woody Hayes. There's a lot of stuff going on down there, and I would say it's probably one of the hidden gems, especially the museum that, because I've went to a lot of museums, but there's not one where I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. The other ones are just, in Washington, D.C., in bigger cities, you're like, oh, yeah, cool, that's, but it didn't really hit home like the, coming to Newcomerstown, I'm like, wow, I live like 20 minutes away from here, and I didn't know all this stuff went down here. So, what made you, I guess, head that direction? And we'll get to you in a second, Jeremy. What made you kind of want to get involved with the Cy Young Festival?
All right.
Well, I'm a big baseball fan from way back. Like I said, I grew up in Toledo. And in Toledo, I always tell people I'd had a choice between the Tigers and the Indians, so I chose the Yankees. And the fact that the Yankees' third baseman was Cleve Boyer, who I suspect may be a distant relative of mine.
Gotcha.
There was kind of that tag in. And throughout grade school, I was constantly being called Cleet. So it just kind of fell in line with that. But when I retired, when we moved down to the Newcomerstown area, I wanted to get involved in the community. And the first thing I actually got involved in the community was at the museum. They had a hee-haw show.
Okay.
And
what is that?
You remember the TV show Hee-Haw with all the country singers?
He's not that old, Dave.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? He says no.
I remember.
I mean,
I was little.
They had country people on there, like Buck Owens was on there, who was a country and western singer.
Okay.
At any rate, the show that they did was a takeoff of the Hee-Haw show, and one of the characters that was on the Hee-Haw show was Grandpa Jones, and me being an elderly person, shall we say. I was originally going to be the newscaster, but he didn't do any singing, and I like to sing. Some people tell me they wish I wouldn't sing so much, but so I did Grandpa Jones and ended up doing some singing. And then they have other shows. They do bus tours at the museum. We had a show that we played for many years called Small Town America Goes to War, set on Newcomerstown in 1944 during World War II, and we had all these different tunes from the 40s, and I got involved in that, playing a character in that and singing in that.
Dang. Okay.
So I got involved with the museum that way, and then from meeting Ed Gibson, the president of the organization, through where I purchased some things, and we got to talking baseball, and Ed, of course, is obviously a huge baseball fanatic, and he and I worked together a lot doing fundraisers, and quite often he will be wearing his Cleveland Indians stuff, and I'm wearing my New York Yankees stuff, like I now have an Aaron Judge jersey to wear.
Okay. All right.
So that's how I got involved in the festival, and just been continuing it from then.
That's what's up. And how many years you been involved with the festival?
Oh, what's it been now? About 4 years, I think.
Okay. Awesome.
Roughly.
Now, Jeremy, you obviously being from Dover, I don't know about you, but I've had friends that went to Newcomerstown, but it wasn't a place that I visited often. So how did you get involved down in Newcomerstown with the Song Festival?
Well, I got involved. I went to the luncheon one year. I can't remember who the Grand Marshal was, but free autograph was always something I was up for. I got, that was one thing. That's one of my hobbies is autographs. So went down there and I was looking around one year, and then you see all the people on the committee. Then the following year I went down again, and I'm like, someone needs to, everybody in here is like kind of Dave's age. So
I was wondering where you were going. I was like, oh no.
So, I was like, this is kind of awesome, and this is something that probably needs to carry on, and we need to get some younger blood in there. So I just started asking them questions, and one thing led to another, and here I am.
Nice. And how many years was that?
It was probably 7 years ago, and I've probably been involved 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but
nice.
Yeah.
And that was just my chronological age. I'm still pretty young at heart.
Yeah,
I can tell. I would agree. Being around you guys down there, you definitely act younger than Jeremy. No,
most people do. I'm pretty broken down already.
But no, I mean, it was pretty cool. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about the history of the festival. Obviously, I got to go down and it was amazing. And I know, Hall of Famers had been there before, and great pitchers, in the past that I know have been there before. But, obviously we can talk about, pitchers or players and that have, when they say Grand Marshals, that mean, you're basically, you get the keys to the city.
Yep, absolutely.
And, we're like the main attraction of the whole weekend. And that's why I made the joke at the opening of the show that, they kind of ran low on time and was like, oh, well, we got someone that's like 20 miles away. We might. But no, COVID really did put a strain, because you guys had people lined up, but then, obviously COVID, and I think the Grand Marshal you guys had lined up actually got COVID.
Yep.
So, but maybe you'll be able to set it up in years to come. But who's going to be Grand Marshal this year?
John Denny.
Okay.
Pitched for a number of teams, won his Cy Young with the Philadelphia Phillies.
All right. I got some history with the Phillies. They drafted me, but that's amazing. You go from a guy who pitched at Dover High School and had 2 months in the big leagues to a Cy Young Award winner. Well, you guys really stepped it up. So I might be interested to come out and see, now. But yeah, John Denny, that's pretty awesome. Now, does he understand? He probably won't be as fun as I am. He might have been a better pitcher, but
we'll have to wait and judge that afterwards.
Yeah, okay. Let me know. Give me a message, Jeremy. Be like, hey, he didn't speak as well as you did.
Yeah, I will. I'll tell you right there.
Well, I might even, I might make it down one of the days, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. But what are some other names that off the top of your head? Because I remember, Doc was there.
Mm-hmm. Doc was a great dude.
Was he?
Oh, he's awesome.
That's what's up. I mean, he looked, he was smiling.
Yeah.
He looked like he was having a great time.
Yep.
And he was the one that made me think I had to wear a suit.
He was the first one that actually wore a jacket at the luncheon.
Really?
So whatever. That's what everybody told us. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what everybody said.
Wow. And that's the main goal, is to get someone who won the Cy Young Award, right? I know not most of the time they're still playing, especially in June. So it's, it's kind of hard. But, I mean, you guys have been pretty successful since you guys have been on the board with having a Cy Young winner or a big name come through. Who's been Grand Marshal while you guys have been here?
Jack McDowell.
Oh, wow.
One time.
I remember playing with him on RBI Baseball on the Nintendo.
Bob Turley was there one.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Ed gave me one of his balls since I'm a Yankee fan.
Really?
He was a pretty decent pitcher. And for at least 1 year.
Yeah, exactly.
Doug Drabeck was another one.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that one too.
Now I'm drawing a blank now.
I mean, it's all good. I mean, you mentioned some names, and that's it's incredible that people would love to come. Not just as stuff about your hospitality, because baseball players talk. So if someone came down here and had a horrible time, they'd probably be like, all right, don't go to the Cy Young Festival. But the fact that you guys keep getting former Cy Young Award winners is pretty amazing. Now, for me, obviously I've been there once, and I think it's pretty funny too, because we've had some of the what do you want to call them? I don't want to say old, because that feels terrible, but there actually was an 80-year-old pitching in the old
vintage baseball.
Vintage. I was saying old. I was thinking old fashioned.
Old timers.
Vintage baseball. And we had the Dover Red Legs on, but there's way more teams than I anticipated. And like I said, there was a couple teams that needed someone, but I was injured. And I want people's visions of me playing baseball to be, kind of fantasize and just be like, oh yeah, Percy was probably so good. He played for the Indians. I don't want to ruin people's thoughts by playing in front of them. So,
understood.
Yes. But there was an 80-year-old man playing, and he really made me feel terrible. But, is that something that you're always going to have? That's going to be a part of the tradition of the Cy Young Festivals, having vintage baseball?
Yes, we plan to have, and it's actually now called the Ron Porcher Memorial Vintage Baseball Tournament.
Okay.
Ron Porcher was involved with Ed Gibson and the committee for many, many years. Passed away a couple of years ago. He was a Vietnam veteran.
Wow.
And had some health issues related to his service in Vietnam. And we decided to name the tournament after Ron to keep his memory alive for everything he did for the country and for the organization and for Newcomers Town as well. So and actually we have some plans. I think I would like to be able to eventually maybe pitch the game to like ESPN.
Okay.
To be able to show the tournament. Now, obviously, it would probably be on Time to Land, would probably be on one of their secondary channels.
Yeah.
But it would be something that I think would expose a lot of people to baseball being played as it was when the game
1867 or something like that?
Yes, back when the game originally began.
Yeah.
So that they can give them a somewhat of a taste for the way things have progressed, and not just in the players themselves. Obviously, players have progressed drastically as the human race has progressed. Just in the way that the baseball game itself and the rules and the way it's played have changed over the years in response to different things that have occurred over time.
Yeah, it's definitely a different game per se. Even though it's still baseball, it's different. But now, before we wrap this up, and I kind of want to talk about like how the whole community's like involved, and it's a big deal. Because obviously having a community that supports it is very important.
Yes.
Because you guys, it's not just you guys, it's not just the board. It's not just your relatives. It's not just, it's, cause I know you force your kids to help out, but no.
I do.
But,
they don't mind it.
Yeah, it's more of, like the whole, even surrounding places, it's a big deal in the summer. Just talk about what that means to the Cy Young Festival and Newcomers Town, having that and someone of that name that carries that much weight, just before we wrap up, I just think it's a good idea that we kind of, because I don't think people listening, unless they're from this area, know how small Dover is, and then know how small Newcomerstown is compared to Dover. So, just talk about the importance of this event in the community.
Well, first off, the Cy Young Festival is a 501c3. It's a charitable organization.
Okay.
So funds that we raise, we make donations back to the community in forms of grants for various and sundry items to help people who may, especially these days, with gas cards, for example.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm afraid to go to the gas station.
We've helped the one food pantry in Newcomerstown with some donations, and so it is a charitable organization. And what we do make, we give back to the community. We also support the Little League baseball in town, to help them keep going.
Yeah, that's pretty big down there too. I played in a tournament down there. So,
and we actually have a number of other charitable organizations, a number of other committees in the Newcomerstown area that are going to be at the festival, promoting their events as well, and selling some raffle type things for events they have going on. The Thomas Little Foundation, for example, has their big festival coming up at the end of the summer, and they're going to have a duck race on the Tuscarawas River.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to be selling ducks at our festival.
Nice.
So we also have various other booths. We have food trucks, different craft booths, different craft booths there that the people pay to be in the booth, and then they are able to sell whatever they've made or whatever, So people are out there making money as well. So it's an economic boost for a lot of those small businesses, if you will, that people wouldn't have a whole lot of a chance to be able to get out and sell their wares at if it weren't for something like the Cy Young Festival. And we still have spots available, so if people are interested, you can go to CyYoungDaysFestival.com. There will be phone numbers there that you can get in touch with people and see about getting a booth and come down and see what the festival is like and sell whatever you may have that, within reason, let's say.
Yeah, I was going to say. Also, like if someone wanted to get involved, say they love baseball, say they love Cy Young, say they love pitching, and they love Ohio.
America.
Yes, exactly. Or America. How would they donate? Can you donate through your website? Because I can put your link in the description of the video, so they can click that and get involved.
Well, the treasurer's name is on there, so you can get in touch with him and make donations that way. Right now, we're meeting every Wednesday, finalizing all the details for the event. We've got a meeting tomorrow night. Typically, we meet on the third Wednesday of each month.
Yes,
and
third
Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. It's quite often either at the museum itself in downtown Newcomerstown. If the weather's nice, we may meet at the Cy Young Park in one of the shelter houses. So if someone wants to show up, they can show up on the third Wednesday at 6:30. And if we aren't at the park, we'll be at the museum in all likelihood. And they can drop in and see what we're all about and see how they want to get involved. We've got some new people that got involved this year that are going to be working on the parade and adding some more things for the little kids to do, like a hula hoop contest type thing. Right. I'm not going to hula hoop, I'll tell you that much.
Well, I know I'm looking forward to the pitching machine. I want to see how hard I can throw.
We have a speed gun there and we have prizes for the fastest throw for the festival. In different
maybe I won't go down then. I'll let it be fair.
But, think you can still hit 99?
No. Should we change the title? No. No. The legs are what kind of gave out for me. So the arm is still intact, but to throw 99, I need the whole body. So
exactly.
Yeah. But no, this was pretty amazing. Is there any? Let's just hit the the dates again. She said it's June 24th, starting at 5:00, and it'll be all the way through. What's that? June 24th is that's a Friday,
that's a
right?
Friday.
24th.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It'll be
26th through Sunday, June 26th.
Okay.
Saturday is obviously our biggest day. We have our luncheon at 11:30.
Okay.
You can go to the website to get reservations for that.
Alrighty. And the website will be in the description. So at the bottom of the video, if you're watching, just use the click the URL down there, and it'll get you right to all the information so you can reserve your seat.
And we do have both a regular website, CyYoungDaysFestival.com, and we also have the Cy Young Days Festival on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Page
Okay. Well, we'll put both down there then.
Okay.
For those who like to use Facebook.
Then we got Percy's favorite, the parade. That kicks on at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Then immediately following that, John Denny will be at the museum signing autographs.
Okay. I remember that.
This year we got to limit it to one each.
Yep.
We're expecting.
That's what happens when you get a real Cy Young winner. Well, and they got the cool. Are those hot dog machines working?
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
All right.
The electric ones in the museum.
Yeah, in the museum. Yeah, I was like, what the? I didn't think they were real. And you guys are like,
Yes,
oh, no, those are real.
It is real.
Yep. And then our big band Saturday night is Adam Culver band. He's won many awards all over the country.
Wow.
He's actually just from Cambridge.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he puts on a great show. So anybody that's into I don't know, kind of a country.
Yeah, even if you're not.
Mix, yeah, it's just
concerts
a really great show.
are, obviously if you're in your car driving, you want to listen to your music. But concerts are kind of different atmosphere,
Yeah.
Right.
But that's pretty awesome. I would say if I were going to go down today, obviously it'd probably be a Saturday. But there's a lot of stuff around. If there's some time in between events at the festival, you can hit up some local restaurants and obviously go check out the museum when you're in line waiting for an autograph, which I think is it's an event that is pretty cool, and I'm kind of jealous that we don't have it in Dover, but maybe we'll have one for me because I have 0 victories. No.
and as you remember, we also take the Grand Marshal out to the Cy Young gravesite to see where he is actually buried and to lay a wreath there on it. And oddly enough, going to the gravesite, you actually drive right past Cy Young's farm.
Yeah.
And and it's, I had never been there. I knew who Cy Young was. I didn't know all these details about him. I just knew he was a pretty darn good pitcher if they named an award after him.
Yeah, exactly.
And, in going out there and seeing it and learning everything about it, it is a pretty moving experience. It really, really kind of hits you that, man, he really did accomplish a lot.
Yeah, not just on the baseball field. It was a lot he was involved in. But back then, you couldn't just live off of baseball like you can now. So that's why he was pretty involved in a lot of things. But the experience for me was amazing. I would encourage everyone, if you can, make it out to Newcomerstown between June 24th and the 26th to see what it's about. If you want to watch some old-fashioned baseball, that tournament will be on Sunday, right? The 26th.
That's correct. It'll be starting at 10 o'clock in the morning.
And I will say it's way more exciting watching a vintage baseball game in the stands because you're kind of involved. You can actually catch the ball.
Yep. If you catch it, that player is out.
Yes, which is the best rule ever, by the way. But I want to thank you guys, Dave and Jeremy coming by. And, obviously we wish Ed could have made it. But maybe we'll have him on next year.
And I'd like to thank you for having us on.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course.
It was, I've really enjoyed this, and we just need to let more people understand exactly what Cy Young was about. He's a very famous person in Ohio history, and there are just a lot of people that don't know that much about him. Yeah.
I mean, it was a long time ago when he played, and obviously they know the award, but they don't attach any, accomplishments, any pictures, anything to it. That's kind of what I did until I went out to his gravesite. Then, like you said, it hits you. So, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of it last year. And it's a great tradition. And I'd love to see you guys flourish and keep going and keep growing and keep getting Cy Young award winners in every year. And maybe we'll just keep doing this every year at the beginning of June. And, because this podcast is never going to stop. Ain't that right, Josh?
That's right.
But again, thank you guys for being here. And I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. We're always live here Tuesday. Well, not live technically, but the video will go live Tuesday. I know Jeremy's like, oh crap, we were live? No. But yeah, this video will be live Tuesday. Like I said, make sure you guys like and subscribe. The links to the Cy Young Festival information and to reserve your seat and to be able to go and know about all the different events that are going on. Those links will be down to the Facebook and to the website. So you have no excuse not to miss this. I would say make sure you mark your calendars right now and make the trip to Newcomerstown. I know I will. And make sure you guys check out the merch store, help out a Dover student. And yeah, I guess other than that, I guess we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib out of water. Say me Casa su casa. It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. She be on that Henny. I like that Corona.